Hi everyone, it's Ingrid again, just reminding you all, don't forget to purchase my copy of the book, My Miraculous Journey with God, with only $60 and a suitcase. I'm telling you, you won't regret it. So, I'm going to read an excerpt from the book, and that will give you a reminder of my experience that I had, building the relationship with God, especially at a time like this. Everybody has to keep praying and focus on God, okay? Let me read a quick excerpt. All right, so All right, here we go. One part of the story I can tell you, my experience I had was, there was a time I was at a temp assignment where I started work as a receptionist. It was a long term, but of course it was full time. It was not full time, now that I think about it, it was a temp job. I was working with a nice lady. She was so sweet, but I worried about her because sometimes she would come in drunk. I would pray for her and hope that she would heal. I had to help her a couple of times because she was old and she moved a bit slow. The stress probably got to her at the job, but at the same time, she probably had some other issues. I would talk to her and wanted to keep helping her. I find out that she lived alone. One day, she didn't come into work. I received news that she had a brain tumor, so she went to the hospital. I was so sad because I remembered she would sometimes come into work drunk. I called my best friend and told her that I needed to go to the hospital and see my coworker. Let me move to the next page. Give me a bit here. So the company signed a card and took turns visiting her. My best friend met her a couple of times because she would stop by and visit the job, so she knew who she was. I went and thought about how Jesus had healed people. I started to pray and ask God to heal her. I went with my best friend, Selah, to the hospital, and we brought our Bibles to the hospital. I started to read some passages that was about Jesus' power of healing. I read about some people that Jesus healed in the Bible before I went there. So I went to the hospital with my best friend, and I was trying hard not to tear up since she looked brain dead when I saw her. She had her eyes opened, but she couldn't talk or move. She looked like a vegetable. I whispered to her. I said, "Hi, can you hear me? It's Ingrid and Selah. Remember us?" She didn't move a muscle. She looked as if she was in a coma. No response. I said to Selah, "All right, let's just get to praying." I started to pray and announce how powerful God is and kept giving God praises. All of a sudden, her arm just flinched and moved. Selah got a little nervous, and I told her, don't get scared. Keep praying, keep going. We kept going until finally I felt it was done. She was still like a vegetable, but I told her that we will come back in a few days. I whispered in her ear and told her that we'll come back in a few days to pray for her. I figured I will keep going and pray for her at the hospital. 3 days passed, and my best friend came back with me to the hospital. We went to the reception and asked if we can see her. We went to her room and found that they were fixing her bed. She wasn't there. My best friend and I went back to the receptionist and asked, "Where is she? Where is the person I was praying for last night?" They looked her up and said, "Oh, the patient you saw yesterday? Well, her sister came today and took her. She felt better, so her sister came and took her so she can go and stay with her sister instead." My best friend and our mouths just opened and we couldn't believe it. All of a sudden, we looked at each other and we were thinking, she felt better just like that? My best friend and I just smiled and walked out the hospital and realized that God is still in the miracle business. Anyway, this is just part of the excerpt. That's part of, my experiences that I had and some other miraculous experience that I had with God. There's more to it, I know, but at a time like this is a time where we all need to keep on our Bibles, keep on the Word, keep the eyes on the prize, and don't forget, God is still a miracle worker. All right? Let's continue to spread God's love across the world. Let's keep the positivity going and the positive testimonies going. And let's continue to represent for the Most High. May God bless us all. I'm telling you, get the book. You won't regret it.